top story tonight on Gravitas focuses on what's happening in Syria, where Jihadi forces are on the march, battling against Kurdish forces, capturing major cities that are basically redrawing the map of control in the region. Amidst all of this, Israeli forces continue to launch airstrikes on Syrian military targets and in the process destroying naval vessels, anti-aircraft installations and manufacturing sites. Already battered by more than a decade of civil war, Syria is facing more devastating conflicts amid a power vacuum in the country, following the toppling of its former president, Bashar al-Assad. As per reports, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or HTS, has captured the strategic city of Deir ez-Zor, following fierce battles with the Kurdish-led and US-backed Syrian Democratic Forces, commonly known as SDF. HTS leaders reportedly said the city was fully under their control, along with the strategic nearby town of Bukamal. Incidentally, SDF had only moved into Deir ez-Zor last Friday, replacing the Syrian government forces. Their hold lasted mere days before HTS launched its offensive.
كل هذا الإنجاز من جهدنا ومن صناعتنا رأيتم الصواريخ.
In fact, HTS leaders have reportedly said that they will advance towards Raqqa, Hasaka and other areas in eastern Syria. Raqqa, once the Islamic State stronghold, fell to the Kurds in the year 2017. Now HTS has its eyes on claiming the city. Meanwhile, the Syrian National Army, commonly known as SNA, is also launching offensive against the Kurds. SNA is basically a coalition of armed groups that came together to oppose Assad. Kurds are an ethnic group spread across the region in Syria, Iraq, Iran, Turkey. They run an autonomous administration in northeastern Syria called Autonomous Administration of North and East Syria. The US sees the Kurds as key allies in the fight against ISIS. As per reports, the Syrian National Army launched coordinated attacks on Kurdish forces across northeastern Syria and in the process captured Manbij in eastern Syria and are advancing towards the Kurdish city of Kobani in northern Syria. The War Monitor said the fighting between Syrian National Army and the Kurdish-led forces in northern Syria has left 218 people dead in just 3 days. Meanwhile, Israel has continued to intensify its aerial campaign in Syria. Over the past 48 hours, Israeli forces have launched more than 350 airstrikes on Syrian military targets, 350. The targets include naval vessels, anti-aircraft installations and manufacturing sites. In fact, videos released by the Israeli Defense Forces showing devastating attacks on key infrastructure, including the port of Latakia. Like we told you yesterday on Gravitas, Israeli planes bombed at least 3 major Syrian army air bases that had dozens of helicopters and jets. The strikes hit the Kamishli air base in northeast Syria, the Shinshar base in Homs, and the Aqraba airport southwest of Damascus. In a statement, the IDF said it has destroyed 70 to 80% of former President Bashar al-Assad's military. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, meanwhile, has made his stance clear. While expressing a willingness to engage with Syria's new regime, Netanyahu basically warned that if the rebels permit Iran to re-establish its influence or transfer weapons to Hezbollah, Israel will respond with overwhelming force.
If this regime allows Iran to re-establish itself in Syria or allows the transfer of Iranian weapons or any other weapons to Hezbollah or attacks us, we will respond forcefully and we will exact a heavy price from it. What happened to the previous regime will also happen to this regime.
You see, during Assad's rule, Syria was a key corridor between Iran and Hezbollah, along with other Tehran-backed proxies. Iran has reportedly opened dialogue with the new rebel leadership. Mohammad al-Bashir, who has been governing HTS-controlled province of Idlib in northwest Syria since January, has been appointed as the country's caretaker prime minister. In a country already ravaged by years of war, the dynamics in Syria continue to shift rapidly. As Jihadi forces march forward and Israel unleashes that firepower, the future of Syria continues to remain in peril. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.